So yeah, I want to do a long video here about the water camp because a lot of people they ask me. I receive many parents from many different countries asking like, "Ogi, I heard about Able Camps and you're the founder, so I'd like to hear from you, right?" And I think this video is a way of answering many of these parent questions, right? So I would say that the first thing is to say that I'm a National Geographic educator. If you go to National Geographic website and to see what the explorers or the community is doing is really bringing awareness about nature. If you watch a documentary or if you read the magazine, you're going to see fantastic photography, fantastic stories that changes the way we see, right? So I think that the water camp is built on creating the explorer mindset. You know, what is the explorer? Explorer is this person who has courage and confidence to go beyond what we know, right? Like people going even to the moon or Mars, they're explorers, right? Or people going to Antarctica or almost inside a volcano, right? They're pushing the boundaries of what we know. And I think for kids today, and maybe you resonate with this as a parent, it's like everything is so easy, right? They can press a button and order the food they want. Remember in our time, we had to go to a place to rent a movie, yeah? You had like return in like 24 hours or 48 hours. And now kids can just use the remote control or the video game and then skip and skip and skip. So there's a problem with this society where everything is so easy. That is hard for us to keep the focus, you know? It's easy to scroll and to change and to move. But when we go to a place with no screens, like a waterfall, it's really easy for us to listen to the birds. It's really easy for us to see these little bugs here and there, or even weird spiders or plants that we never seen. And then it brings the opportunity for us as educator, because we are there present, right? So we are mindful people. A lot of people, they come to the camps to learn English, but I think it's much better to learn English learning emotional intelligence and having fun, right, than just writing in a book the right answer. Because we treat those places as our classroom, you know? And kids, they don't really think that they're learning things. They're having the time of their life. And when we give the Able t-shirt, that's a souvenir kids love and they want to use over and over again. Not because it's cool, but because it represents their courage to go beyond the shore, right? I love this boat here, is a Lego, and is the Endurance. It was an expedition, and if you never heard about it, Google. Is a fantastic story where they got stuck in the ice in Antarctica, and everybody survived, you know. So I feel like I have this spirit of going to explore, and I want more kids and more future generations to have that, because it made me who I am, and it made me care about the planet. I'm also a rock climber, so I think that everything started for me when I was 13 or 14, 15 years old. I started to rock climb, and I was going to mountains in Brazil, and I remember bringing a lot of garbage from the remote jungle. Some of the hikes, they were like 12 hours, you know. It's funny because Brazil is so wild, and I don't think we have like that much of hikes in Thailand that are 12 hours, you know, that you go by yourself. And I used to do this. I used to go hike in the evening in there in search of myself, and I remember bringing garbage from those places, right? So I think that now the camps, they're made in a format where kids from like 5 to 20 years old, or young adults, that they can really celebrate, right? We segment then by age group, so we have like 3 pillars in Able. I'm talking about the water camp, right? So we have the social emotional learning aspect, which is about flowing, is about persistence, you know. The water, little by little, it can make a river, can make a valley, right? And if you Google this, you're going to see these rocks where there's a drop of water falling, and there's a hole in the rock, right? So I think that this is to show endurance, persistence, and in this fast-moving society where everything is disposable, we see the power of sticking to the things, to let nature flow. That's really important. And I feel that schools usually don't really teach those things. There are not many schools that are like value driven. Our educational system was built on this repetition and memorization, what is really good for engineers and for science, but I think that they are limited. They get to this place of what we already know. And if you look to Einstein, he said that imagination is more important than knowledge, because it's imagination that will make you think in a possibility that nobody ever think it before. And maybe this question is the seed for the curiosity, right? So the Able Water Camp follows the National Geographic framework. And this framework has 3 layers, I would say. The first one is like attitudes. And the first one is to be curious, When we go to the sticky waterfall, there's a lot of sediment, and you step on this and it gets sticky. There's grip. It's not like slippery. And then the question is why it's like this? What's the mineral there? And the second one is empowerment. Is like, oh, I think you kids can discover, right? And then they go into their journey and they feel empowered. And by try and error, we are not making them to learn something and repeat. They learn to develop critical thinking. So these are like the attitudes of the framework we have in our camps. The second layer is the skills, right? And then I think the skills is a lot about working together. It's like about team building, because we cannot take care of the planet alone. We need a team of kind, smart people. Like the kids that come to Able camps are fantastic friends for life for these kids, because the parents have the same interest, right? So we start with like observing. It's like looking at things, and then you observe, and then you communicate. Because, for example, you need to move this big table, and maybe you cannot move by yourself, it's too big. But if you talk to other friends, maybe 4 or 5 kids can move together. They can move this big table. So you observe, you communicate, you collaborate. And then the 4th level is the problem solving. It's when you solve that problem, that now the table is in a place where we can access, where we can work, where we can play, or we can eat. Right, so it's really important to have those things, because that's how our framework was created, with these attitudes, with these skills. The other part of the Natural Geographic framework is understanding the wildlife, or changing planet, and our society, because we have the nature here, like you can see this plant here, and we have the human world. We have the natural world, and we have the human world together. And there are places where these 2 things, they collide, right? So when you go to a pier, when there's like an intensive construction, you create like a huge mass in the environment. You kind of destroy a lot of the surroundings because of big construction. Or when you make a dam, a reservoir, like Itaipu in Brazil, it's huge, right? And there are small aspects where we can see the human world and the natural world coming together. Like when we choose to throw a plastic in a place that will go to the mouth of the turtle. And this shows also like our capacity to make things good. It shows that together we can make the world a better place. So the water camp has like 5 days. We learn a lot about the river of emotions. We learn a lot about project-based learning, like how to filter water with activated charcoal. And also like how we can dilute things, right? When we have too much resentment or negative things, we just keep on diluting this in water, and then everything feels better. So this is it. I think that already a long video. I'm really grateful for being on this planet at the same time than you, and being able to create this fantastic experience. And I think kids, they deserve. So if you can afford to give this to your children, consider to give. Able is a life-changing experience. Have a beautiful day.